Hi, I'm Kelsey at Crafting for Weeks, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make mini crochet bows. These are quick and easy and really fun for scrap yarn. And speaking of scrap yarn, let me show you what I've made with mine. This one is made with bulky weight yarn. I've done this one here with fingering weight yarn. You can do the same pattern with any weight, you just need to adjust your hook size. And then once you have made these bows, you can attach them to like a hair tie or a baby headband. These are nylon headbands from Amazon. You can also get some of these like alligator clips. You can buy these in bulk at craft stores or on Amazon, or just use these bows however you like. Let's go ahead and get started. Now for my yarn today, I'm going to be using Wool-Ease Thick and Quick. This is a super bulky weight 6 yarn. And for my hook today, I'm going to be using a 6.5 millimeter, which is a K hook. So to begin, you are going to put your yarn on. I'm using a slip knot and pull that tight. And we are going to be chaining 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so we have our foundation chain of 10, and we're going to be working in these back bumps along here. So we're going to work in the second one from our hook, and we are going to work a single crochet in the back bump of the chain. And we're going to do that in each bump across. So when we get to the end of our foundation chain, we should have 9 single crochets, each worked in the back bumps of the chain. And the reason I'm doing this in the back bumps is that it makes a nice finished edge versus if you just worked in one of the loops of the chain. It gives you the nice V shape that you would find at the top of a single crochet row, and you would find that at the bottom of the row this time. I will say I don't use this for every project because it takes me a little bit longer, but it does have such a nice finish. Let me pause here and count my stitches. And it looks like I need one more, which is why we always count. And oh, there's that little hidden back bump that I missed. So make sure you count your stitches. You need 9 single crochets when you're done with your foundation row. Okay, so then we are going to chain 1 and turn. Now from here on out, we're going to be working in the back loop. So if you look at the top, at this from the top, you see this one is your front loop and this one is your back loop. So all of the stitches are going to be in the back loop of the stitch. We're going to be working single crochets in each stitch across. So at the end of this row, you will have 9 single crochets, each worked in the back loops of the stitch. Okay, so bear with me while I get across this row. This is the same way that you work ribbing in a lot of like hats or gloves or anything that would go around the edge. A lot of times you're working single crochets in the back loops, and this is the exact same technique. We're just only using 9 stitches. So here we go. Last stitch of the row. And when we get to the end of row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And this might shock you, but we're going to do it again. So that's really the gist of this pattern right here, is we're going to be working single crochets in the back loops, and we're going to do this for 5 rows after our foundation row. So that foundation row, we're going to be working 9 stitches across in the back loops of the chain, that little back bump. I should call it a bump so we can tell the difference. And then in the rest of the rows, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the back loops of the single crochet below it. So that is the gist of this pattern. I believe we are on row 4 right now. We're going to do a total of 6 rows. So the foundation row is the 1, and then 5 more rows of single crochet in the back loops. I think I have explained that to death now. So let's just go ahead and get this finished. I have a few more rows. I'm actually going to stick with you in real time. I'm not going to fast forward this. A lot of times I fast forward, but I like you to be able to see like how quick this project actually is. And yeah, so I'm just going to like hang with you for the whole time. And while we're hanging out, who's up for a little story? So, fun fact about this particular crochet hook, it is a Boye crochet hook, and it is the first crochet hook I ever got. My grandma gave it to me to teach me how to make chains when I was like 4 years old. And I have had it ever since, which is actually really funny because I feel like a few years ago she told me that she was missing one of the crochet hooks from her set. Hold on, let me take care of this knot really quick. Okay, here we go. She was missing one of the crochet hooks from her hook set, and I was thinking, I have that crochet hook and I've had it for like 30 years. So yeah, anyway, let's finish up this last row of single crochets. We are still working in the back loops. This is row 6, by the way, and I paused it there to take care of a knot. That's all good now. And here we go. That was the last stitch. Okay, so to finish this off, I'm just going to grab my scissors and I'm going to leave myself about a 12-inch tail. That's probably a little more than 12 inches, but you only need 12. And then I'm just going to pull this end so it comes all the way through. And then I'm going to thread this onto a tapestry needle so I can take care of this end and we can make our nice little bow shape. So here we go. So whenever I finish a crochet project, I like to kind of just go back through this little loop right here to make sure it's secure. Probably unnecessary, but I do it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go down through the top of this stitch, and then I'm going to be working through these last 4 stitches that I crocheted until I get to the 5th stitch in the middle. And then I'm going to come back up through the center of that 5th stitch. So there it is. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm just weaving the yarn back through those first stitches so it's coming out of the center right here. Okay, and so this is where I'm going to cinch my bow together. I'm using that tail and I'm just kind of wrapping it through the center and I'm shaping the bow as I go, and I'm making sure that my yarn stays in the center, and once I have it like nice and placed and where I want it, then I'm tightening it. So as I tighten, I'm wrapping, again, shaping as you go, because once it's like really tight, it's not as easy to shape. So at this point, I'm going to take a hair tie, because that's what I'm going to attach to mine, and I'm just going to take my yarn tail, and I'm going to go through the hair tie, and I'm going to wrap that around, and then I'm going to go through the hair tie. Again, I'm cinching this really tight so it doesn't get loose. And if you didn't want to use a hair tie, this is a great time to add like a baby headband. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go through this at least twice. And then once I feel like this is really secure, it's not going anywhere, the bow's in a good shape, I'm going to come around the back and I'm going to tuck this needle under all of those stitches I just wrapped. And I'm going to push it through and pull that end tight. And that's going to secure everything. It's going to secure that center thing. And then I'm going to, I'm coming back around. I'm actually just making a crisscross over the hair tie so I know that it's on there really good. And then I'm just going to kind of secure this, make sure it's really tight. There's really no rhyme or reason to this part that I'm doing it. I'm just kind of tucking my end in, making sure everything's secure. And here I am, I'm just weaving this end through. And then once I get this out of here, I'm gonna actually just snip this off because I'm done with this end. I'm happy with where the bow is at. I'm happy with how the hair tie is on there. I'm gonna snip this off. And then we're gonna take care of the other end. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit simpler. We're just gonna put this one on the tapestry needle, and well, let's see if we can get it on there. All right, here we go. And we're just gonna weave this in. However you like to weave in your ends, I just like to go back through the stitches that I worked, and then I'm gonna just tuck it under that center wrap to make sure it's all hidden and secure. And I like to weave my ends from the back, so if anything does stick out or you can see it, it's in the back of the piece and not the front. This yarn is being a little finicky for me, but we'll get this little end out of here. All good. And then once that is done, I'm going to snip this side off. And that's it. We're all done. Okay, let me show you what it looks like from the front. I love this big one. I think it's so cute. I mean, obviously it's a great hair tie, but I think it's cute on other things. You could hot glue this to a hair clip if you're going to use alligator clip. Hot glue and attach it to the back. I think this would be great for gift wrapping too, because it's a really good size. Now, speaking of sizes, this is some of the other sizes that I tried out. This little one is fingering weight yarn, and this is bulky weight yarn. So you just need to adjust your hook size to match your yarn. And in my pattern, I actually have your suggested hook sizes that go with the yarns that I tried out. You can find this whole pattern written out at craftingforweeks.com, and I will link that for you in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and until next time, happy crafting!